What if your real life doesn't begin in the city, but in the quiet? She came just to ride horses. No expectations, no plans, just to escape the noise. He lived where time slowed down, spoke to horses in a whisper, and didn't yet know he was about to meet his forever. One look, one path, one silence where trust is born. A first date without rushing. A confession spoken softly. A wedding under the open sky. Right where it all began. A shared home with a porch. Morning coffee. A dog named Chuck who knows. This is family. Years pass. Hands grow older, but never let go. And on that same porch, a new laughter appears. The voice of a grandson. A story that began with a ride became a life. Quiet, real, forever.
Love Stories Max. Welcome to my channel. Enjoy watching, friends.
Where quiet became home. I remember that day so clearly, as if it still lives inside me, breathing along with me. My friends and I arrived outside the city early in the morning. The fog hadn't yet lifted, and the air smelled of hay, damp earth, and something deeply real. We had been dreaming of a horseback ride for a long time, just to escape the city, the noise, the constant rush. I had no idea that day I would escape, but not from something, rather toward something. The riding stable felt cozy. A little old-fashioned, wooden fences, creaking gates, horses softly snorting as if greeting us. I ran my hand along the warm neck of a bay mare and smiled. There was a strange sense of calm anticipation inside me. And that was when I saw him. He came out of the stable holding a bridle, wearing a dark jacket slightly stained with dirt. His movements were calm, confident, attentive. He wasn't in a hurry, as if time moved differently here. When he spoke to the horse, his voice was quiet, almost a whisper. I thought, only people who know how to be gentle speak like that. Is this your first ride? He asked us. His gaze lingered on me a little longer than on the others. Not boldly, warmly, as if he was trying to recognize me, even though we had never met. Yes, mine is, I replied, for some reason stumbling over my words. I'm a little nervous. He smiled, the kind of smile not meant for everyone, soft, sincere. I'm right here. Nothing will happen to you. His name was Nicholas. He helped me into the saddle, keeping his hand on mine just a bit longer than necessary. Not because I might fall, but as if he wanted to make sure I was really there, that I trusted him. During the ride, he stayed beside me. He talked about each horse as if they were old friends. Who was stubborn, who was shy, who loved being talked to. I listened to every word and caught myself paying attention not only to what he said, but how he said it. Do you come here often? He asked. No, but, I paused. I think I will. He glanced at me and laughed softly. Then I'll be happy to see you. When we stopped at a small clearing, the sun was already filtering through the trees. My friends were laughing somewhere behind us, and we were silent. But it wasn't an awkward silence. It was the kind that lets you breathe freely. You look like you belong here, he said suddenly. As if you were always meant to be near this place. I felt something warm spread through my chest. And you? I took a breath. You really suit being the one who welcomes people like this. He lowered his gaze, almost shy. After the ride, he brought me tea in a metal mug, made from herbs he had gathered himself. We sat on a wooden bench, listening to the soft clinking of bridles, the way evening slowly breathed in. I love this job, he said. It's easy to be honest here. with horses, and with people. I looked at him and knew. I wanted to get to know him slowly. Not in a rush, not between errands. But the way he lived, attentively, sincerely. When we said goodbye, he didn't ask for my number right away. He only said, "Come back again. I'll be waiting." And I did come back. Because some meetings don't begin with a line or a question. They begin with the feeling that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Next to the right person. I came back the second time alone. No friends, no laughter around, no cover. Just me, the road outside the city, and a strange flutter in my chest, as if I wasn't just coming to ride horses, but coming to someone important. Nicholas noticed me immediately. I hadn't even closed my car door yet when he was already walking toward me. "You came," he said softly. Not as a question, as a fact that made him happy. "I promised," I smiled. This time, we didn't rush. He didn't put me on a horse right away. First, we took our time grooming them. He showed me how to hold the brush properly, how to feel the animal's mood. His hands were warm, steady, and incredibly gentle. And I caught myself thinking that I wanted him to touch my life the same way, without sudden movements. We rode along a path by the field. The sun was low, the wind played with my hair, and he rode beside me, glancing over now and then as if checking. "I'm here. I'm with you. Are you comfortable?" he asked. "Yes." I hesitated. "With you. Very." He didn't answer, but I saw his shoulders tense slightly, as if my words had touched something important. After the ride, we shared coffee from a thermos by an old wooden fence. He told me about his childhood, about how he learned to listen more than he spoke. I told him about myself, about fears, about a loneliness you can't always see. And at one point, he looked at me differently, serious, deep. "Claire," he paused, "I don't know how to say this the right way. But with you, the world feels quieter. And more honest." My heart started beating faster. "I feel safe with you," I replied softly. "Like I can finally be myself." He gently took my hand. Not suddenly, as if asking permission. And I didn't let go. We kept seeing each other after that. Slowly, without rushing. Every ride, every conversation. Another step toward each other. That evening, we were sitting on a wooden bench, wrapped in one blanket. The sky was filled with stars, and the horses breathed softly nearby. Nicholas was quiet longer than usual. "I'm afraid," he finally said. "Of what?" I whispered. "That I'll say this, and everything will change. But if I don't say it, it will be worse." He turned to me, looking as if something very important was being decided in that moment. "Claire, I've fallen in love with you. Not loudly, not suddenly, but quietly, and for good." My breath caught. Tears filled my eyes, but I smiled. "I love you too," I said. "I fell in love with you the moment I heard you whisper to a horse." He pulled me into his arms. He didn't kiss me right away. He just held me, like he was protecting something precious. And then there was a kiss. Soft, warm, real, the kind of kiss where us begins. The wedding. We didn't want a loud celebration. We wanted a quiet one, where you can hear the heart. Our wedding took place where everything began, near the riding stable. A wooden arch decorated with wildflowers. Soft sunlight touching my shoulders. I walked toward Nicholas along the same path where we had once ridden together for the first time. He was standing there, waiting. In a light shirt, slightly nervous, but so familiar. When our eyes met, he smiled the way people smile only when they know. This is forever. "Are you ready?" he whispered, taking my hand. "With you. Always," I replied. We didn't read long vows. Just a few quiet promises. I promise to stay, even when things get hard. And I promise to always come back to you. When he slipped the ring onto my finger, the wind gently lifted my veil, and somewhere nearby the horses neighed softly, as if they were blessing us too. We kissed, and the world fell into place. Our house was small, wooden, with a porch that smelled like coffee in the mornings and the warmth of the day in the evenings. The first weeks, we lived among boxes. I found his shirts where I didn't expect them, and he found my books everywhere. We laughed, learning how to be together in the little things. Nicholas put up a shelf for my mugs. I planted flowers under the windows. A sense of calm settled into the house, the kind that grows when two us become us. And then Chuck arrived, a small, funny puppy with oversized paws and a serious look in his eyes. He immediately decided that our home was his fortress, and that we were his family. "He looks like you," I laughed. "Stubborn?" Nicholas asked. "Loyal," I said. Chuck slept by the door, followed us around the yard, and greeted us every time we came home as if we'd been gone forever. In the evenings, we sat on the porch. Me with a blanket, Nicholas with a mug of tea, Chuck curled up between us. Sometimes we were quiet, and that was enough. I looked at them, at the man I love and the dog who became part of our family, and thought, this is it, happiness. Quiet, real, ours. We grew old quietly, not in wrinkles or gray hair, but in how we learned to stay silent together longer than we spoke. In how we held hands not for balance, but for peace. Our house barely changed, the same porch, the same flowers under the windows. The tree had grown taller, offering shade on hot days. Only we had slowed down, grown gentler, happier. Nicholas still woke up early, made tea, sat beside me, even when I was half asleep. "I'm here," he would sometimes say. And that was enough. Chuck was gone by then, but his bowl still stood by the door. We never had the heart to move it. Some loves don't need goodbyes. One summer day, laughter appeared on the porch. Small bare feet tapped against the wooden floor. "Grandma," he called. Our grandson climbed onto my lap, resting his head against my chest, listening to my heartbeat. "Is it true you and Grandpa met here?" he asked. I smiled and looked at Nicholas. He was holding an old bridle, the same one it all began with. "Here," I nodded. "And not only did we meet, this is where we learned how to be together." "And how do you know it's love?" our grandson asked seriously. Nicholas leaned closer. "When you don't need to be someone else around them," he said. "And even silence doesn't feel scary." Our grandson thought for a moment, then ran back into the yard, where Chuck once ran, where we laughed, where life was simple and real. I rested my head on Nicholas's shoulder. "We lived well," I whispered. "We loved well," he replied. The sun slowly set, the wind turned the pages of my life. And I knew, the story had come full circle, right where it began, in quiet, love, and home.